Hi guys, it's Emily from Novel Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my April TBR and it's my biggest yet. Now, I have included one book for a Love Book Tours read along, which I'm at whatever PR doodahs. But I've got another one that's on the shelf because I didn't want to add that, because if I added that it would make it like 20 books on this TBR. As it is, it's 19, I think. This could be the biggest TBR ever. And yes, it's not exactly the longest month, but it is the Easter holidays. So I'm hoping the children will let me read. I've also got Thomas's birthday. I've got Easter, obviously, the same weekend. Hopefully going out with a friend at the start of the month. We'll have to wait and see. But I do know that April's a slightly busy month. Not as busy as March. And I easily read over 19 books in a month. But it doesn't give me much leeway for extra books to add to this. So I'm hoping I've picked well. So let's do the one thing that I always worry about doing first. TBR jar. Yeah, kind of last month's book didn't exactly go very well because I thought it looked amazing. It was a book that I thought would be great and it flopped big time. So I'm hoping, seriously hoping that this month's going to be good. So let's have a look and see. I can't change whatever's in there, actually. Right, there you go. I want to put down the bottom because I could have easily picked up the book I put in there last month. So I don't know what this is going to be. Let's hope it's done well. Oh, this is how it always is. Oh, this one's actually going to be perfect for this month. This one is I think it's a white, this is a contemporary, but actually for April, I believe So Kevy's doing a trans readathon, and this would actually kind of, don't this fit? So I don't really want to say anything too much just in case. But this is the story of a family, Rosie, Penn and their 5 boys. The days are full of drama, laughter, tears, friendship and rivalry, and making order out of chaos. Then the youngest boy tells his parents that what he wants to be when he grows up. A chef, a vet, a dinosaur, a farmer, a scientist, a girl. When little Claude puts on a skirt and calls herself Poppy, her family love her as much as ever, but it's not going to be that simple for everyone. So this is going to be a really good book for this month, so I'll put that there. I'm really happy I got that. I saw that in my charity shop at Baz Books, and I thought that would be a really good book. It will educate me a bit more, and it will be really positive. So hopefully the TBR jar's done well this month. Now to my 2 buddy reads. Now they're not with booktubers, but they're with my Instagram friends. I am also going to include Instagram friends in my booktuber friends thingy list. For my booktube books from the Instagram friends as well, because I do think they count, even if they're not booktube anymore. They're Instagram friends, but it's still like the book world. So, and this first one is my one with Gemma, who's previously read a book gem, and she's on Instagram. And this is Mr. Rosenblum's List, which I think is a perfect gem. You picked perfectly. Perfect spring book. It's all friendly guidance from the Aspiring Englishman, a novel by Natasha Solomons. I swear she's written some popular books, but I can't remember. List number 2, never speak German on the upper decks of the London buses. Jack Rosenblum is only 5'3.5" in sheer tenacity. He's writing a list so he can become a very English gentleman. Number 41, an Englishman buys his marmalade from Fortnum's and Mason's. In 1952, despite his best effort, his bid to blend in is fraught with unexpected hurdles, including his wife, Sadie, who doesn't want to forget where they came from or the family they lost, and she shows no interest in getting a purple rinse. List number 2, 112. An Englishman keeps his head in a crisis. So this is set in 1952, which is the year my mum was born. It's not a long book. I think it's just over 300 pages. That's going to be quite a nice short one. Oh, this is actually, yeah, literally just, it's probably one of mine and Gemma's shortest books. It does look good. I've seen it in charity shops a few times, and it does look really good. I don't know if they've got any other author books, but no. So that's my first buddy read. The second's with Mark, who is on Instagram, and it's my first buddy read from Mark. I think it's actually Mark's first ever buddy read, and we're only going to do like 25 pages a day because he's new at doing buddy reads. I loved Circe, and I'm really looking forward to this. It is like another Greek retelling, which is going to be interesting because I'm reading this at the end of the month because I've got the biggest one to read at the start of the month. This is Greece is in the age of the heroes. Awkward young Prince Patroclus has been exiled to the court of King Peleus. Well, I can't say these names. Despite their differences, Peleus' golden boy Achilles befriends the shamed prince. And as they grow into young men, their bond blossoms into something deeper, despite the displeasure of Achilles' mother, the sea goddess Thetis. When word comes from that Helen of Sparta has been kidnapped, Achilles must go to war in the distant Troy and fulfill his destiny. Torn between love and fear for his friend, Patroclus goes with him. This does look really good. It's a gorgeous edition, so I'm looking forward to reading that. Next is my reread for the month, because I'm enjoying doing the rereads, and I decided to reread Tidelines because I've got the latest book in this series. I can't remember the name for me, that Charlie from Charles Heathcote bought me for Christmas, and so I thought I'd reread this, and then I'll read Dark Tides, because it's, I can't remember what other one, but the newest book is Dawnlands. That's the newest book, so I thought I'd reread this first, so it gets me in the mood for reading Dawnlands, because I don't want to leave that one on my shelves too long. This is set in 1648, and the country is in the grip of a bloody civil war. The king is in exile, and the people have learnt to keep their allegiances secret. In the Tidelands of Sussex, where land and sea join together, the villagers are focused on survival, and those who are different are regarded with suspicion. It's a reread, but I know I loved it the first time. I think Charlie got me this the first time, and so he's got me actually he's bought me the whole of this series, which is really weird, so thank you, Charlie. So that's my reread. And my booktube about, like, my friend's favourite author, I'm going with Gemma's, because she is one of my booktube besties, even though she's not on booktube anymore, she's still one of my besties that I found on here. And her books have been real hit and miss with me. Rose Terrain's books have been real hit and miss with me. So I saw this in a charity shop, and it's one of her newest books, I believe. And this is one that Gem thinks I'm going to love. So this is historical fiction mixed with a mystery. Nobody knows that she's a murderer. London in 1850, on a freezing winter's night, a baby is abandoned in the gates of a park, only to be saved by a young policeman and taken to the Foundling Hospital. After suffering years of brutal hardships at the hospital, Lily is released into the world of Victorian London, but she is hiding a dreadful secret. When Lily and the policeman meet again, Lily is convinced that he holds the key to her happiness. That's really, really good. I also love the fact that, considering I've got a massive TBR, this is short. It's not even 300 pages, so that's good. Then I've got my spring books from the spring list. This is the second in the Bourneville. This is the series, the Chocolate Girl series by Annie Murray. This is The Bells of Bourneville Green. And the third came out not long ago. And this is set in 1962. So it's done over two sort of different decades. And this is set in sort of Cadbury's factory. And this one sort of centres around Greta, who is in 1962. She has no father, loathes her mother's latest boyfriend. She's happiest at work with her friends at the Cadbury's factory. When her missing vixen of a sister, Marlene, turns up during the worst winter for decades, Greta decides that she has to get away, and her only escape route is through marriage. Yeah, this could be a bit triggering, I think. But then she finds out that life with Trevor is not what she hopes for. Why do I sense domestic violence? This could be hard-hitting, but it does look good. Then we've got my Rachel Hall books. I love Rachel Hall's books, and this is The Place of Secrets, and I've heard positive things about this. And it's got different timelines, I believe, and you've got, like, as a child, can dreams be passed down through families? As a child, Jude suffered recurrent nightmares running through the dark forest, crying for her mother. Now, her 6-year-old niece, Summer, is having the same dream, and Jude is frightened for her. And it's something to do with the 18th century Wickham. Oh, I don't want to read too much, but this does look really, really good. And then the last of my spring books is The Secret Life of Albert Entwistle, which Chris got me for my Christmas present. And I've heard he's got Becoming Ted is the latest book out by this author. I don't read many books written by male authors, but this does look really, really good. Living alone since the death of his mum, a 64-year-old postman, Albert Entwistle, keeps things to himself. So early one morning, just back from delivering mail and full of life and love that no one ever shares with him, Albert is surprised to find himself on the receipt of a letter. I've spoken more about this on my spring books, but this is quite a big book, but it does look really happy, so I'm really looking forward to that. On a happy note, I have got Why Mummy Swears, which is the second in the Why Mummy series. I love this series. I cannot wait to reread this one because I actually read this one first and I read Why Mummy Drinks second last time, so I'm going to read this in the correct order. And yeah, this is where boy child Peter is connected to his iPad like an umbilical cord, and Jane is desperate to make her fortune on Instagram while Daddy is constantly off on exotic business trips, and then the marriage is feeling the strain. I remember this book, I remember it really well. Cannot wait to reread that for the series. Now, my book for my tandem read along is a book that actually is released now. It's actually released now, and I've got a post for this actually today. This is historical fiction. Old books pass through many hands. One book lives to tell the tale, and it's set in 1805. The book of mystical poems is born to Emily Swanson. Oh, it's got Emily. An 87-year-old poet who lives and writes in an enchanted cottage. Before she dies, she stipulates that her very first edition, which she cherishes like a child, should be left in the care of a trusted friend. Oh, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm gutted I have to wait for a bit to start that. Now, my classic for my classics for 2023 is The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and I thought it would be a good one to read. I think I remember seeing like the Disney version of this, but I believe they've got a new one coming out. It's a Victor Hugo book, which I have not read yet. It's had mixed reviews. It's not very long. It's like just over 400 pages, but it has had very mixed reviews, and I'm intrigued as to whether I'm going to like it. So, fingers crossed it goes well. I do not know how I'm going to feel about it. My classics can be very hit and miss. We all know Moll Flanders didn't go very well, so I'm hoping that's a hit. Now to any extra books. I've got A Springtime Affair by Katie Ford, which I bought last year for spring. Thought this would be a perfect book, and I'm hoping spring actually bloody appears in April because it's been flipping cold in March. I haven't been out in the garden as much as I would normally do, so I can't wait. Katie Ford's books are very, very contemporary, and I'm hoping I really like this. Gilly runs her own B&B business from a much-loved family home, which she doesn't want to part with at any price. But then she meets handsome estate agent Leo and soon begins to wonder whether selling up might not be such a bad idea at all. Meanwhile, her daughter Helena is a talented weaver and has become close to her new landlord who offers help. And something to do with friendships and loves and stuff, but it does look quite contemporary. So that does look quite good. Then I've got a book that I did buy full price last year and on Amazon, and I thought, do you know what, this one I just kind of need a real book that I've got hope for. Two People, One Question. Could this be the start of something? Lachlan Wallace is stuck at home after a car accident stalled his army career. With only a rescue dog and a cat for company, he's taken to gazing out of the window, watching the world spin on without him, and then he notices a vase of flowers on the windowsill in the apartment opposite his. Drawn to their hope and colour, he decides to put a message in his window. Possibly should have been reading this for my readathon about the Invisible Disabilities readathon that I'm doing, which will be coming up with an announcement coming up soon. But this does look really good. The other storyline is Beth Gwyn is a stranger to the new town. Bringing up her son Noah by herself, she's slowly rebuilding her life. But loneliness is one obstacle she's yet to overcome. And then she sees the bloke in the window opposite. So this has got a lot of hope. I'm really expecting high things from this. Now for my thriller. I've decided to go back to having a thriller every month because I'm actually enjoying them a lot more than I thought I would. This is One by One by Ruth Ware, which is one of her newer books. I'm expecting to be shitting bricks when I read this. Snow is falling on the exclusive alpine ski resort of Saint Antoine. The stakeholders and directors of a music app, Snoop, gather for a make-or-break corporate retreat to decide the future of the company. At stake is $1 billion buyout that could make them all millionaires or leave some out in the cold. And then I guess something happens and someone gets murdered. So, do expect good things about this. Next is a book by an author that I know has done some things that they shouldn't have done, but it's historical fiction and it's middle grade, so I bought this before I knew anything, but I thought I really want to read this. So this is by the author who wrote The Boy at the Back of the Class and The Night Bus Hero and The Star Outside My Window. So I did buy this. It's kind of historically fiction, I believe, but middle grade and a bit of fantasy. Ever since I can remember, people have always stared at me and my family. Dad tells me it's because we're special. There's never anyone who looks like us, and my best friend Sangeeta in my school history books. But this this year is different because our school trip decided to learn about the Second World War, and I saw my name, my exact name, carved high above a church door, lying beneath a golden lion. I don't know who this person with my name is yet, but I know he was a hero. It changes everything. And in fact, with my help, it might even change history itself. So this does look really, really good. Then my non-fiction book is a bit of a stretch, which is a non-fiction book by Chris Atkins. And this is set in the Magistrates Prison Services. And it's a documentary, and prison books can be quite good. I know I've read The Prison Doctor quite a lot, so I am really intrigued. This is not a long book, but it's one that's been on my shelves a while, and I do want to try it. So I'm looking forward to that. Then a book that I bought because Danny from Danny's Book World told me about it. A wife, a mother, a politician, a traitor, a fighter, a survivor. Look how gorgeous this book is. And I love the doodah pages. Stunning. And this is set in 1431, and it's a dangerous time for the women to be defiant. England has been fighting France for 100 years. At home, power-hungry men within the corrupt government manipulate a weak king and name Cecily's husband, York's loyal duke, as enemy. At the king's grasp on sanity weakens, the plot to destroy York takes root. This is the one I'm probably most excited about, or one of the ones I'm most excited about. Then a book that has been on my TBR shelves for quite a while. It's one of Jojo Moyes' older books, but I knew that I needed to get this off the shelves, and this is Sheltering Rain. It's one of her earliest books, I believe, and it's set in 1950s Hong Kong, when 21-year-old Joy meets handsome naval officer Edward in an expat party. The last thing she expects is to fall in love. Quickly wedded, she leaves to travel the world with her husband, but she soon discovers marriage life isn't all that she thinks. And then we've got another timeline. In 1980, Joy's younger daughter, Kate, mysteriously flees their family home. 15 years later, Kate's own daughter, Sabine, it might be three storylines, leaves London in search of the grandparents she's never known. But with the family finally reunited, hidden tensions come to the surfaces, uncovering a dark secret which has been many years buried. So that's really good, actually. And then, last but not least, a book that I'm reading for the Women's Prize. I'm not doing what the girls are doing and reading all of the Women's Prize books. I'm reading the ones that I fancy and the ones I have. But seeing as this was on the Women's Prize, and seeing as Gemma from Read a Book Gem Gemma from Gemma Books got it for me, I thought I would read it. Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. I've spoken about this. This is one of my most beautiful books that Gem sent me. It's about Medusa. This is a signed copy. I know I'll keep it. This is why I'm reading that at a separate time to Song of Achilles, so I'm probably going to try and start the month with this. So to mortal men, we are monsters, because our flight, our strength, they fear us, so they call us monsters. And it's about Medusa. I am going to have to be so careful when I'm reading this, because it's such a beautiful edition, and it's a signed edition. I feel so blessed that Gem sent me this, but I'm super excited about that. And it's a Women's Prize book, so I can talk about it in the plod along. So I've got to blooming read it while they're doing their videos. I will link down below the plod along host, which is Charlie from Charlie Book Reads, Gem from Gemma Books, and Alice in the Giant Bookshelf. I'll link their channels down below and check them all out. They're reading all of the Women's Prize books. They're doing plod along sprints, or sprints/plods, and they're amazing. So I'll link all their channels down below. What of these books do you think I should prioritise? What books are you excited about for April? Have I overdone it? Knowing me, probably yes. But I'm going to enjoy them. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed, ring on my ding-a-ling. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.